Guys, it's just time to talk down to you in plain, honest to understand language about the truth concerning Faith Vickers and this whole thing. And the truth is, Faith Vickers. Faith Vickers, what she has to say. She's the girl who cried shit wolf one too many times. We can't believe anything Faith has to say. Not a goddamn word from Faith Vickers' mouth is trustworthy. I'm going to show you guys that. I'm going to show you guys that today in this video, because it seems like a lot of you guys out there have a very short memory when it comes to Faith Vickers. It seems as though none of you remember when old Faye was putting out a video saying that you Kiwi farmers out there put her in a mental hospital. That Godwinson and I put her in a mental hospital. It wasn't very long ago that Faith was saying that her father abused her and beat her. Now she admits that that's a lie. Right? But you're going to trust what comes from her mouth anyway to own a fat redneck alcoholic pill-popping piece of shit who doxed his own pay piggies, who doxed me, who sent pictures of my asshole to my family, who f***ed with my livelihood, f***ed with my church. What did he do to you personally? But you question my bona fides, as though I have no idea what I'm talking about, as though I haven't been the one from day one A-logging Ethan Ralph, from day one, blowing him the f*** out and embarrassing him. I have to ask, where was T-Clips in January of 2019? Where was she when Knoxville happened? Oh, she was licking gun crease. You have to ask, where was Cog at this time? He was licking gun crease. You have to ask yourself, where was Matt Jarbo at that time? Just a total humiliated loser in the dumps, in the gutter, in the trash. You have to ask yourself, what was Aid doing at that time? Oh, she was literally sucking Ethan Ralph's penis. Literally sucking Ethan Ralph's penis. But you question me and my credibility on things and believe this disgusting, lying pig whore. Are you kidding me? Are you mentally in the mind? But this is what people are doing now, because they're so desperate to own Ralph, because there's been a drought of content on Ralph, that we have to make up lies and give Faye a sociopathic liar attention. Well, do you know what? I don't believe in that. Do you know, people give me shit for a fake Me Too interview of John Michael Kelly, obviously fake, but then support a real-life fake Me Too. Do you know that? And here's the thing. Ralph is a scumbag. He is a loathsome scumbag, and he deserves what he gets. You might even say he deserves to have this happen to him. But you know what? We don't have to enable lying sociopathic cunts who just want to be famous and get on Keemstar. Somebody has to tell you this truth. Somebody has to tell you this truth. Listen to Faith. Listen to what she had to say not but 2 months ago, before all of you get on her pussy and lick her feet and kiss her ass. Listen to what she had to say.
I've tried my best not to respond to the attacks from my father and mother over the past few weeks. My main focus has been on my relationship and my recovery. That will continue to be the case. However, due to their recent unethical and arguably illegal activities, I decided it was necessary to set the record.
The illegal activities of her parents. She's accusing her parents of crimes in this clip. She's accusing her parents of crimes. Her parents who now that she's cried that she's the victim and she was abused and this and that, have taken her back into their home. Why? So she can get her Christmas presents and then probably go back to Ethan Ralph after all this bullshit. But here she is on tape saying that her parents are criminals. The same parents who've taken her back in after she sullied their bloodline for all eternity with the demon child. And you want to worship her? Put her up on a pedestal? Trust her as a primary source for anything? What world are you living in, kids?
Straight with a statement. I am not mentally ill, as my parents would have.
Just remember that. I am not mentally ill. What sort of person who is not mentally ill lets Ethan Ralph thumb their ass and suck the shit off the thumb? Did everybody forget that happened? He literally stuck his thumb in the woman's ass, sniffed it, and sucked the shit off, and she let him. That was consensual. She's not mentally ill. I'll just remind you as well. Do you remember this picture of her meth teeth from smoking meth? Yeah, I remember all of us dunking on her 3 months ago. Every single one of you cocksuckers. Just bang, what a disgusting meth-headed. But now, let us all get on our knees. Oh, wow, let's bow down to Faith. Live in the real world, kids.
You believe. I do have mental health issues, depression, anxiety, PTSD.
I am not mentally ill, but I have mental health issues. I can't believe I have to play this for you people who forget, who have the attention span of goldfish. Are you one of these people? You better not be one of these people. Seriously, you should be ashamed.
All things that millions of Americans deal with daily. Last month, in the face of withering abuse and attacks from Kiwi Farms, Godwinson, PPP, and others, I had a breakdown and required hospitalization.
Let's bring that back. You want to hear that one more time?
Well, as my parents would have you believe, I do have mental health issues, depression, anxiety, PTSD, all things that millions of Americans deal with daily. Last month, in the face of withering abuse and attacks from Kiwi Farms, Godwinson, PPP, and others...
Withering attacks from Godwinson, Kiwi Farms, PPP, and others.
I had a breakdown and required hospitalization.
So I put her in the hospital. Like, that's what she's saying. All of us, all of you damn dirty A-logs and trolls, put her in the hospital and wants to lay that at our feet. But, again, nobody wants to accept the reality of her just completely sociopathic behavior. We're going to go through her whole history of sociopathic behavior. We're going to go through her tweets. We're going to discredit this. We're going to have a look at these leaks. These leaks that read like a fucking Lifetime movie script made for television, written poorly, where it's just completely left unambiguous as to what's going on. Now, did the events that happen in real life, might they have been similar to those texts? Yes. Are there texts that are probably similar to those texts that are real? Yes. But the reality of it is those aren't the real texts, because that's written like a Lifetime movie script. And if you believe that, I have oceanfront property in Arkansas for you.
Parents, who now talk about how much they care about me, used to regularly ridicule my mental health. And on that day, they didn't even want to take me to the hospital until I forced their hand.
And that was a lie. Mr. Vickers proved that it was a lie. So that was a lie as well.
The concerned parent routine is just an act.
The concerned parent routine is just an act, even though they've brought her back into their home, are going to give her a nice Christmas, give her all that she wants, and you know what she'll do at the end of all this, folks? And you know what she's going to do that makes all of you look stupid? She'll go back to Ethan Ralph. If she doesn't get what she wants and gets this picked up by a mainstream outlet, this story of how she Me Too'd this evil Nazi and destroyed the alt-right so she can go on Keemstar's show or Destiny's show, then she'll be back with Ethan Ralph come the new year. And then all of you will look fucking shit.
If it wasn't an act, how could my father, Matthew Vickers, justify linking up with the same scumbags who put me in the hospital?
The same scumbags who put her in the hospital. The only person who put her in her hospital was herself with her lying sociopathic behavior. This woman's gone to the mental hospital by her own admission, and yet we are supposed to believe that these leaks today, or yesterday, or these 47 leaks from the Genius Anus, the content drops, it's all real, even though the source of it is Faith Vickers. Come on. Listen to this shit.
He now interacts with Kiwi Farms and considers them friends. He does interviews with Godwinson. These are the people responsible for the sudden decline in my mental health, and my father now calls them friends. That's not the behavior of a concerned parent. It's the behavior of a narcissist. This man has shared my private health history to the entire internet without my consent. He talks about me getting tested for medical ailments, but when I was there, they neglected to take me to get medical care time and time again. Delays, excuses, there was always a reason. When I was in the hospital last month, they called only once. and even then, they didn't leave their number.
These are all lies. Mr. Vickers proved that they were all lies. How quickly people forget. How quickly people forget that this happened. Just sweep it under the rug so that we can make a bunch of shows about Ethan Ralph with super chats enabled and grift money off of it. And the whole reason that they're doing this is and they're running with these leaks is to try and discredit Godwin's in there. So that, anyway, that'll be revealed in time. But it's just sad. It's just sad. The only reason they're running with these leaks is to make money so that they can run a grift and do all these shows on Ethan Ralph and pretend like we believe all women. Well, I don't believe all women. I'm sorry to say. And I'm going to venture to guess that most people listening to my voice right now, if you're willing to see reason and not just be blinded by your hatred towards Ralph, would admit that everything this woman says is most likely a lie. But you'll be blinded by your hatred of a man who's really not done anything to you. He maybe banned you from your chat. Meanwhile, the guy f***ed with me relentlessly, with my family, with my church. Just saying, and I can still see it objectively, so why can't you? Most of you, I think, see it properly. I don't think that there's an issue. But the people who actually believe this lying sociopathic are crazy. You're whacked. You're out to lunch.
Father has publicly disowned me on Twitter, shared embarrassing details about my life, and much, much more. My parents, through their reckless behavior, have also likely poisoned a civil proceeding I was in the process of undertaking against my rapist. My dad is the one who encouraged...
Her rapist. We'll get into this. About her previous rape claims. This isn't the first time she's been abused. It seems like with this type of female, they're just abused every day of the week. They get raped more often than they change their underwear. Why? Because it lets them get attention. And as I read you some of these tweets that, again, people have forgotten about, once we get through this video, I just don't know how anybody can believe this shit. Seriously.
Me to do this. It breaks my heart that he has probably demolished any chance I had to get some sort of attempt at closure on that. He probably doesn't care about this at all.
Closure on non-existent shit.
My parents have also refused to return or arrange for the return for my personal belongings.
Another lie.
Even getting my ID from them was like torture.
Was like torture to get an ID. You know, maybe if you had actually just talked to your parents like a adult and said that you were moving out and that you needed to get your shit out of there. You know, my parents didn't agree with my decision to move out, but they still recognized I was an adult. And I grabbed my shit and I went somewhere else. You know, you ran away in the middle of the night as a plea for attention to go live with Ethan Ralph. Don't pretend like he kidnapped you in the back of some truck now. That Ethan Ralph was like handing out ice cream or free candy in the back of a van and he kidnapped you with chloroform. You went there of your own free will as a legal adult to have sex with Ethan Ralph so that you could blackmail him, sire a child, and do the whole rigmarole where you go on all the shows and everybody feels sorry for you and you get to Me Too them and then you get to have your YouTube show where you raise this child. Like, let's not pretend that she's not trying to start a grift here so she never has to work. Like, let's not pretend that that's not the case. Like, people are pretending as though now she's this innocent victim. When she made this. No one can force you to make a tape like this. No one can force you with your own mouth to decry your own family as criminals.
I bought with my own money earned from working. They still refuse to return it.
Somebody in the chat here's like, why defend Ethan Ralph? This isn't defending Ethan Ralph. This is just telling the truth. It's just telling the truth. I don't know what the world you're living in where telling the truth automatically means that you're bowing down and licking his gun crease. You. That's what I say. Oh my God, PPP, how dare you tell us the truth?
All of my remaining things are being held hostage by them in a misguided attempt to make my life harder. It's sad and it's petty. They also said that they would respect my privacy, but have, according to them, hacked into my personal accounts and devices. Not only is this unethical, but it's also most likely illegal. I don't know if these messages are altered, although I would not put it past my father.
So she herself says that the messages that her father would leak could be altered. She herself says that, but we now should believe her leaks, even though she can cast veracity on the leaks of Mr. Vickers, who is a stable person, who's never been in the mental hospital. Does anybody else see the contradiction here? No? No, it's just me. I'm the crazy one, right? I'm the one taking the f***ing crazy pills, yeah? Because I recognize reality.
What you know is this. I do not consent to the sharing of these messages in public. You access them without my knowledge or consent, and I am telling you publicly to cease and desist. And the big reason they say that they're doing all of this is my boyfriend, Ethan Ralph. My father has always hated Ethan because of how we got together. Now he's using the army of trolls who drove me into the hospital as
the army of trolls, who she is now utilizing for her purposes. She has now subverted some of you out there who are listening to my voice right now into doing her dirty work for her. Remember, she called you the army of trolls who bullied her into the mental hospital. The army of trolls. And now she wants to subvert them using the anus man as the front, instead of just doing this shit directly. Like, this the gayest of fucking ops. Come on.
Weapon against him. I want to state very clearly that Ethan Ralph absolutely did not release revenge porn of me.
You hear that? Ethan Ralph did not release revenge porn of Faith. Those are her words, not mine. Even though I told her that this would happen. Before all this even began, I warned her. Godwinson warned her. Josh warned her. Every poster on Kiwi Farms warned her that she might be abused. That there might be leaking of sex tapes. There might be all manner of fucked up shit. She knew, and she wanted it. She wanted to be a victim. She wanted to be abused. Why? So that she can now get fame out of it. So she can get clout out of it now. So that she can get this picked up by mainstream media who will cover her as this poor, innocent victim of an evil neo-Nazi terrorist. And she can write a book about her experience in Guntsville, Virginia, and sell it.
He had my consent to record the video. We're still together, and we plan to marry soon. I would rather have never talked about this topic publicly, but my father has made that necessary. The fact that my father, and now mother, are doing this breaks my heart. Every step of the way, they have made this situation worse, and they continue to do so. I wish that they would focus on my brothers instead of neglecting them for this insane war against my boyfriend. I don't anticipate putting out any more statements, although we will see if they're needed.
Well, many more statements are being put out. She knew she would make more statements in the future. She had this planned out from the beginning. From the beginning, folks. From the beginning, she had it planned out. She consented to that sex tape being filmed. When she looks back at Ralph, she sees she's being filmed. She wanted a sex tape to be filmed. She wanted it to be leaked. Why do you think she went to Chris the halfway cuck and manipulated him into doing that stream? Why do you think she did that? Because back in the day, she did that. Not even back in the day. This was like 3 months ago. She manipulates halfway cuck Chris into doing a stream exposing Ralph as a cuck. Why? So that she can then manipulate Ralph into leaking the sex tape, so then she can have it over his head for the remainder of her time in Guntsville, Virginia, to blackmail him into giving her a child. And then when she had a child by Ralph, then she really had him by the balls. And then she was gathering blackmail that whole time, so that she could then make these Me Too allegations pull up. Everybody's going to believe them because Ralph's the biggest scumbag in the world. Because, you know, who is going to defend the indefensible that is Ethan Ralph, right? That's what the question is. People are asking, why are you defending the indefensible? You know, because this is a grift by Faith Vickers. This is an obvious grift by Faith Vickers. She planned it from the beginning for the sex tape to be leaked so she could blackmail him. You f***ing idiot. And now it's all come to fruition. And if this grift doesn't work out, as soon as the new year comes, she'll be back in Ethan Ralph's arms, and Ralph will be stupid enough to forgive her. That's the truth.
I just want to state this clearly for the record. I do not want to live with my parents ever again. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not...
But yet you're back with them for Christmas. Why? It's because she wants Christmas presents, because she's a greedy little... She just wants Christmas presents from her family. She doesn't care about her family. She threw them all under the bus to lick gunt crease and live in a crack shack. And you'll worship her as a goddess now? Are you foolish?
Stupid. I'm here speaking from the heart. I'm 18 years old and of sound mind, and I will be 19 in just a matter of days. I'm asking my parents, publicly, to leave me alone and to let me live my life as an adult. They have no
She
right
says
to treat
here
me this
she's
way.
an adult. She's an adult who can make her own decisions. But remember, she was manipulated and coerced by Ralph. She went in knowing what Ralph was. She knew what he was. And that's what she wanted. So she could make herself into a victim. If Ralph did raise a hand and strike her, it's because she wanted to be hit. That's the truth. She wants to be hit. She wants to be abused. She wants to be raped. And I'll show you the history of this type of behavior. I don't say shit like that lightly. Okay? It's just the truth. It is the truth.
And I won't back
Because
down
then she can get
because of their
attention
power.
for it and money for it.
If they continue, we will have to explore other options, such as a restraining order.
Once again, for everybody who's not f***ing, do you not remember making fun of this meth tooth f***ing just a few months ago? Does nobody remember that? So I do. So I mean, just look at what Godwinson's been tweeting out today. Again, this stuff was out there in the public before today. You really have no excuse for having been fooled if you were fooled. If you were fooled by Faith, it's okay, man. There are many men who get fooled by women who lie and are... Okay? But come to reality now about this shit. Look at this shit. I'm going to show you some of these tweets. This is what she tweets. I mean, I was raped and abused when I was 12 to 14 and forced to do child porn too. But I'm still not defending Lolly and people are being attracted to children/teens that are underage, so this is a poor excuse. She's saying she was raped and abused when she was 14, that she was forced into child pornography. There is no evidence for these claims. Zero evidence for this claim. None has ever been provided. This is just one instance. I won't dwell on it too long because it just continues. Here's an image of Faith where she says she's been assaulted before in the past by her father and others. This turned into like 4 different stories of being abused. That pic of my eye was from me getting sexually assaulted and fighting back. And the dude decided to punch me. So glad I left that school to be homeschooled. So when she was in school, she was sexually assaulted there. So not only was she raped and was in child pornography when she was 12 to 14. Weird age range. Was she raped every day for 2 years of her life in child porn? It's hard enough to believe that. Then we're being told, oh, I was beaten in school and sexually assaulted. But you're going to believe her leaks now? Are you stupid? Are you... Why, so 8-0 can fire up a stream and grift for the shekels? The same woman who just a few months ago was literally cleaning Ethan Ralph's room and sucking his penis? Who will say that I'm discredited? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break, kids. How about this one? How about this one? My great-grandpa ruthlessly abused my grandpa, even once beat him with a broom handle till it broke, then grabbed a metal mop handle. He told his school they did nothing. My other grandpa's father blew up kittens and beat his son. He told the school they did nothing. I see trend. So now we're hearing stories of abuse from 50 years ago. Cats are being blown up and shit. This is like, who can believe this shit? Who can believe this shit? Who can believe it? How about this one? How about this one? How about this for a victim mentality? On Christmas Day. How about this? This Christmas I woke up crying after having a horrible dream. We're so unable to move past the grief that all we did was hold each other as we cried. I ended up waking up crying. Merry Christmas. Wow, that sounds like a stable person to me. That sounds like a really emotionally stable person. How about her suicide notes? How about this suicide note? One of 4 different suicide notes that she authored. I thought it was getting better and I was finally feeling like I have the life I wanted. I was going to have a happy family. I'd be a teacher, but I'd see the ones I loved. But things aren't going that way. I've been so depressed that I've lost motivation in classes. My family, for the most part, has driven me further to self-hatred, with my mom constantly putting me down, telling me I'm a failure. The only thing I felt that I had left of the future was to see the one person I love more than all else. And now I've lost that too. It's pushed me over the edge. Losing all these at once while still suffering from PTSD-induced nightmares and flashbacks has pushed me to, like, what the The only way I can think to fix this is to say a final goodbye. I'm sorry. Even though I know most of you won't forgive me, I'm sorry if this causes any pain. There she is writing suicide notes. But this is a stable person. We're all going to run with this girl's narrative of events. I mean, Ralph should have known better. But still, holy f***. Come on. Come on, there's more. Holy shit. Like, whoa. Whoa, man. Like, it's just crazy. How about this one? I never said that, oh my God. I said both need to be looked at. I was abused by my boyfriend. He'd beat me because I'd refused sex and actually raped me on our school bus. So don't try acting like I haven't experienced it as well. There she is saying she was beaten by her boyfriend for not having sex. Does that sound familiar to any of you guys regarding these leaks? That she was beat by her boyfriend for refusing sex? And she was raped on the school bus in front of hundreds of witnesses who did nothing? Or dozens of witnesses, rather? Come on. You believe that? You believe that shit? Dummy? Most of you people don't believe this shit. You're not stupid. I can't even believe it. What this is an astroturfed campaign to subvert hating Ethan Ralph into some sort of crusade to make money. That's what it is, to make money for Faith, to make money for Aid, to make money for Matt Jarbo, to make money for T-Clips. That's what this is. That's what this is. That's what this is. Nobody actually believes this. I came to my school after being raped on the school bus. And Cog. Holy shit, let's not forget Cog the cuck. And they told me that because I was dating the dude, that it didn't count and that I wanted it and would be suspended along with him. And they'd tell my parents, the system is lazy. The system is lazy. She was raped on the school bus in front of dozens of people. She reported it to the administration, who told her she'd be suspended for reporting a rape. You believe it. You believe that shit, you fucking idiot genius anus man. Do you believe that, genius anus? The anus top hat man believes that she was raped on a school bus? Hey, 80, do you believe that? Matt Jarbo believe. Cog the Cuck believe. F***ing shut up. Shut the f*** up. You. Matt Jarbo cries out his ass about a f***ing joke Me Too. Well, he perpetuates a real life Me Tooing. That's fake. That's based on the claims of a mentally deranged lunatic. That's the truth. Look at this shit. People are questioning it, you know. Also, as a homeschool kid, I have to tell you, the supervising teachers who check in with parents knew the families incredibly well and easily can tell if something was wrong. I was raped, abused, and harassed in public, and my school did nothing. I don't have to worry now. I went to them. I went to the actual vice principal and cop on campus and told them what happened. So not absurd, especially since they had cams all over campus. Try again, though, to defend them. By the way, these aren't fake, just screenshots. We have it all archived. All this shit's archived. Every single one of these tweets Godwinson put out on his Twitter, which you can go look at for yourself. You can see the archives that prove that these are real. Faith doesn't have shit. The leaks are a scam. They are a fucking lie. I don't know how else to put it out there to you people. Maybe the events that happened in the leaks might have happened. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm not going to sit here and believe a lie like this, because if we sit here and enable this type of behavior, it will continue to happen, and more innocent young men will have their lives ruined and f***ed up. If you enable people like Faith to do shit like this, you know, it doesn't seem like it makes a big difference in the broader picture. Ultimately, it probably doesn't. But there are many men who are getting f***ed over by lying, manipulative like this, who after they went drinking with them and f***ed this woman and she woke up in the morning and didn't like the look of them, made up a lie or a fake rape claim. Seriously. You want to perpetuate that to own Ethan Ralph? Be my f***ing guest. Be my f***ing guest, kiddos. How about another instance? There's another instance of this. Well, let's look over my assault when I was 15. When she was 15 now. So not only was she raped and abused when she was 12 to 14, was in child porn, was, raped on the school bus, but now she's going to tell us about her rapening when she was 15. Dressed in hoodie and jeans, was 15 so couldn't carry, was leaving a movie theater, had a boyfriend on the football team but left before I did, wasn't talking to anyone, was taught self-defense since I was 10. It's almost like, look at this. I've lived and breathed and survived an actual toxic and abusive relationship in which I suffered and tried to commit suicide over and ended up resulting in PTSD from going through. But because you all devalue abuse and toxicity by calling this toxic, it makes survivors like... But here's the thing. So when she goes around and does the interview circuit with Matt Jarbo next week, with 80, with Pig Clips, with Cog the Cuck, when she goes around and does this interview circuit, will they ask her about this? Will they cross-examine her about these lies and these insane accusations that she just throws out there about shit? No, they won't. They'll pretend that she's an innocent, beautiful princess, bow down to her and kiss her ass so that they can make money. And then they accuse me of being the grifter. Tell you this, where's the super chat button? You know, where is my constant appeals for donations every day? Come the f*** on now. Oh, holy shit. Look at this shit. Somebody says f*** off, Faye. Because she says, someone who does have triggers due to past abuse. I do not see you mocking them or mocking those issues. Like FR, I won't freak out that you made a joke saying you were triggered by cake pop, so I give you my Faye stamp of approval of not mocking these issues. Wow, now you're mocking my triggers based on my rape as a child. Her rape as a child now. that almost caused me to kill myself. Congrats, you played yourself. Maybe if she had killed herself, the world would have a lot less problems. Just saying. But she'll never kill herself because she's a selfish, narcissistic. That's the truth. How about this one? You think this is over? Do you think that that's just the limit of how many stories she's made up over the years? No, of course not. Of course that's not the limit of her lies. So in freshman year, I did do some sexual stuff with two guys. One being my ex, who ended up assaulting me on the school bus and constantly pressuring me into sexual shit when I was clearly uncomfortable. And thankfully, I never did more than oral on him. The second dude was an FWB dude, a friends with benefit dude. I only did oral on him once and never again because one, I missed my bus the first time and had to lie to my parents, which I didn't like. Oh yeah, I'm sure you don't like lying to your parents. And two, he was a complete sociopath. But once again, never went more than that with him, so I've kept my virginity. I've done other things, like my ex, who was 4 years older, ended up fingering me at Disneyland when I was 15. So he was 19, but not completely consensual, obviously. But overall, I've never had full-on sex, and people act surprised when I say I'm a virgin. I will never know why. So here she is saying she's kept her virginity. But wait a minute. Wasn't she raped and in child porn from the time she was 12 to 14? Wasn't she raped on the school bus? Oh, but she's a virgin when it suits her purposes. But you believe her, right? You believe her because the anus top hat man said so. And it owns Ralph. The anus top hat man told you that this is true. And you're going to believe it. Come on. Come on. Come the on, folks. Oh. Oh. How about this story? My ex abused me when I was 14 and he was 18 and forced me multiple times into sexual situations at that age and threatened to kill himself whenever I objected. So there was good reason to want to piss him off. I just want to die. I'm tired of my parents blaming me for whatever abuse, whether it's my ex's or my brother, on me. So there she is saying her brother sexually abused and assaulted her. Where's the proof of that? Where's the proof of that? So her brother sexually assaulted her. I mean, any one of these things is just completely outrageous, but as I present them, bang, 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 one after another, after another, after another. And you'll still sit there and defend the anus man's leaks as being legitimate. Why? To own a guy who's already gonna have to pay child support, who's literally surviving off lemons, who's known as like the worst piece of shit in the universe, who has a sex tape out there, who's literally in the gutter and is going to ruin his life anyway. Like, he's going to fuck it up even worse and probably end up in jail or dying soon. So, why do we need to fucking enable Faith to become famous off Me Tooing a Nazi? Think, guys, think. You're being used. Think. Use your brains. I know most of you have them. I think this is just astroturfed crap. But use your brain. Use your brain. But look at this here. This was used, this injury, which was like a fucking pimple, or like she might have walked into a door, was used from 3 different angles, you know, to justify sexual assault claims. That doesn't prove that you were beaten or abused. I'm sorry. She doesn't have a swollen shut black eye from a man holding her down. Just bang, bang, you bang. Come on. Where are the marks? Where is the proof that Ralph just fucking beat her into a bloody pulp? I'm famous, bitch. Boom. Boom, I'm famous. Come on, do you believe that shit? That's like a fucking Hollywood movie. I'm famous. I'm gonna choke you, bitch. Boom. Boom. That's what you're saying happened. He bloodied her, he battered her, he beat her. You know, maybe she was just being an annoying fucking cunt. You ever consider that? Maybe she like actually hit him and he just shoved her fucking down and that turned in. You know, like you have no idea what happened in this fucking crack shack. We have no fucking clue. You know, maybe it did happen. I can believe it, I guess. It's just like this bitch is the one coming out with these claims, so why should we believe it? Oh, yeah. By the way, just like to point out that Godwinson ahead of time, because we know what's going on with it, and it's all going to be revealed later tonight as well. We know what's going on with all this bullshit. Tonight, Anus Man is going to be leaking the death certificate of Ethan Ralph's grandfather who died in the 60s to show that Ralph's dad grew up without a father. And you know what the genius Anus Man did? He did exactly that. We know what the genius Anus Man is going to do. Like, we know it's all bullshit. It's all a fucking fraud. So the genius Anus Man now, his epic move to dunk on Ralph is to reveal that Ralph's grandfather died. Wow. Wow. Amazing. Like, of course his... Ha ha! You're a loser. Your grandfather died. Ha ha! You're a loser. Your grandpa's dead. So? Like most people Ralph's age, grandfather have passed. Like yeah, wow, we've really done it. You know, Godwinson and PPP are incompetent in the way that they troll Ralph. They never got him to do anything. The way to destroy Ralph is to reveal his grandfather is dead there, guys. Yeah, okay, f*** off, genius Anus Man. Why don't you just sit down? Sit down at the fucking kiddie table with fucking Cog the Cuck and Jarbo. Why don't you let the real fucking take care of it? You know, it was being taken care of. You know, Ralph was being starved of attention. He was starting to fuck up again. He was doing IRL streaming because he was super confident about it. Yeah. Yeah. And then what happens? You fucking manufacture astroturfed bullshit, which then causes him to shell up. Who knows if he'll even go to fucking road rage and do crazy shit like he was going to do on my plan, on my timetable. But you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Genius Anus Man. You're a fucking king. Well, I've had it. Like, I'm not going to be fucking A-logging this man into a fucking grave so that a bunch of grifters can, these slimy little cockroaches can come out and try and make money off of it. Sorry there. Like, again, these people have no idea what they're fucking doing. It's just embarrassing shit. This is completely astroturfed. Even if the leaks are 100% real and Faith is telling the complete truth, the way that they rolled out these leaks completely discredits them. When they're running gay ops and Discord servers and shit like this, leaking stuff ahead of time. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Because tonight there will be an effort post. There will be an effort post on the forums that will explain to you guys how you're being scammed. How you're being scammed and how this is being astroturfed. But just let me make it very clear that this is being astroturfed so that people can make money. And now watch. Watch as the cockroaches start to disavow Faith Vickers. They're already doing it. Abe, before I did this show, was tweeting out, "This is why you don't cry wolf." Already walking it back. Already walking it back. You know? Watch how many of these cockroaches now start to walk back their full-throated endorsement of Faith Vickers. Because the truth about Faith is she's a lying, manipulative sociopath. How I see it, and I'll just lay it out quickly for you guys, and then we'll end this video. I've already explained it earlier in the video, but just to give you my bottom line on what I think's happened with Faith Vickers, it's very simple. What's happened with Faith Vickers is this. She wanted to become an e-celeb or somebody famous on the internet. She wanted that attention. She wanted to make money. She wanted to be famous. So she tried to leech herself onto an e-celeb. She tried to latch herself onto Destiny, and Destiny said no. She tried to latch herself onto many other e-celebs. Finally, she found the only one that was enough to be manipulated by her, Ethan Ralph. And she concocted a plan from the beginning to manipulate the halfway cock into leaking those DMs so that Ralph would leak the sex tape, which she filmed prior, so that she could hang that over his head and then trade her confession of the sex tape not being revenge porn for a child so that she could then f Ralph over even harder. And then, when things didn't work out with Ralph, then what is it? Then it's he's a Nazi, I was groomed, this is the story of inside the alt-right. The story writes itself. And the story is so good that people will just ignore the fact that she's a total lying sociopath and give her money and give her attention and let her grift. That's what's happened. That's my theory. That's my theory. And so far as the genius anus man and all this fucking shit, he's being led on a merry little chase by Faith. He probably thinks he's going to get to tap Faith Vickers' ass. Somehow, she's able to manipulate all these fucking simps into doing her will. And the genius anus man is just another one of these simps who's being manipulated by Faith. And it's a totally astroturfed campaign. Ask yourself, how many of these accounts that have joined Kiwi Farms or whatever just joined within the last day or the last week, who are pushing this like totally bullshit narrative? How many sock puppets are out there doing this shit? And then when you start to see the leaks from their secret discords where they run the gay ops, then maybe you'll wake up to reality. Maybe you'll fucking smell the coffee there. I don't fucking know. But that's what I think happened. And I think that that's a pretty reasonable take. I think Faith went into this with eyes wide open, wanting to be abused, wanting to be victimized, so that she could then make herself out to be this big deal. That's my take. And I get it. So, oh, you're defending Ralph. Ethan Ralph is a slimy Me and Ralph have our differences. But I will always defend somebody who's being falsely accused by this. I always will. Because this is a real attempt to ruin this guy's life, which is already ruined. It's a real attempt. It's not even that it's to ruin his life. It's that she's going to enrich herself by doing this. That grosses me out. And enrich a whole bunch of other people who are going to platform her on their shows, pretend like she's an innocent little victim. When but a few months ago, she was saying that her father beat her and abused her, her brother raped her, she was raped on a school bus, she was forced into child porn when she was 12 and 14, when she was 15, she was raped outside a movie theater. Come on. Come back to reality, folks. I think most of you are back on reality if you were fucking believing in any of this crap. But it's just completely untrustworthy. And you also have, and one final point here, you also have this the anus man saying that Mr. Vickers is the primary source. Wait a minute, wasn't it a week ago that we shouldn't trust Mr. Vickers? And that Mr. Vickers was lying and Mr. Vickers was full of shit? Wasn't that the consensus opinion? But now we're going to believe this guy when he says Mr. Vickers is the primary source? And if Mr. Vickers is the primary source for these leaks, well, hold on, wait a minute. Why would he leak them to the anus man? Wouldn't he have leaked them to Godwinson, who he was in constant contact with for 3-4 months? Like, this is the man that we're supposed to believe has been entrusted with these leaks. The anus man. Come on. Come the f*** on. So that's really all I've got to say on this one, guys. Faith Vickers. Her lies. And f*** all this bullshit. I stand with Ralph. That's it.